What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Dual Sense podcast. This is episode 60. Nice, even 60. I'm one of your co hosts, Jason, and I'm joined, as always, by Fart Simpson, also known as Travis. Travis, what's Gucci tonight?
Still recovering from the wedding shower I had to attend and watching my parents communicate with other people with their cell phones.
With their cell phones, like, let me show you this picture type of
Right.
communicate?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So amazing you knew that. That must be you must have experienced this as well.
Always.
So it's funny, when you were 6 years old and you go to your grandparents' house, they pull out a photo album to show you all these pictures from where they went to Dairy Queen or whatever. And now it's all on your parents' phones, and they think everybody wants to see the pictures because, since you have your phone with you, everything's a picture now. And
Correct.
nobody wants to see 35 pictures of your cat.
Oh, you never know. Maybe they do.
This is the cat asleep on the bed. This is the cat Friday morning when it was laying in the floor. It's a fucking cat. It lays on the floor every day.
Look how I found the cat this morning in the bedroom.
Right. I mean, okay, I do that with my dog, but
Here we go.
But I don't go around showing everybody repeatedly 100 different pictures of the dog in a row.
That's fair. Yeah, you do it in moderation. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like they don't understand. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Typical trope. They don't understand.
Yeah, you're right. They don't, but I do. Well, I'm doing okay. I don't have a lot to report. I took a poop right before we recorded, and it wasn't incredibly satisfying. It didn't yield the results that I was hoping for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a really good one in Nashville last week.
Yeah.
Where was it on the Bristol stool chart?
I've forgotten this. What are my options here?
1 through 7, and I think 7 is rabbit, or sorry, 1 is rabbit, and 7 is dysentery.
7 is 1,000 miles. It was a 2. It was a 2. Yeah, not very satisfying.
You want 3s and 4s. That's what you want. That's the perfect. That means your intestines are perfectly balanced.
Yeah. Well, we know mine are not inherently balanced correctly, but that's just the way it is. But I love a good 4. I love a good 4 poo. It's very satisfying when you feel like your colon is cleansed after you take one. That's great. You know what I mean? You feel lighter a little bit. That's a great one.
Sometimes you need a 7 for that.
Sometimes you do need. Sometimes you just need a full blown cleansing. Anyway, Travis, for the uninitiated or the noobs here on the podcast, we are a weekly podcast where you and I get together and discuss all the week's news, rumors, new games, and a lot more in the world of PlayStation. We post new episodes every Monday on all of the podcast services that you are using right now. We also post on YouTube as well, where we occasionally post game streams and clips in addition to the show. And also, if you would like to talk with us or reach out to us, you can find us on the Twitter at the DualSense Pod. And we would love to hear from you there as well. And without further ado, let's jump right into the news here straight away. Number 1, website Kotaku broke news this week that Rockstar is developing a Grand Theft Auto Remastered trilogy according to sources. The trilogy is scheduled to release this fall and will include remastered versions of Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, featuring a mix of quote-unquote new and old graphics being made in Unreal Engine, according to the source. The user interfaces of the games are also getting updated, but will retain the same classic style as always. They also confirmed that Rockstar's Dundee, Scotland studio, is working on the collection, and that the trilogy may only be released digitally. The source also revealed that plans exist for a Red Dead Redemption remaster, but the future of that project depends on how well these GTA remasters sell. And finally, another source claimed that almost the entirety of Rockstar has shifted to development of both the remastered trilogy and the next-gen Grand Theft Auto 5 ports, which have led to Red Dead Online getting fewer and smaller updates. Any thoughts?
Well, the last sentence there confirms, a theory we had a few weeks ago that, of course, they're going to throw money at the GTA 5 port and we're not going to see a lot of Red Dead. It just makes so much money, so that confirms that for sure. One of the things I noticed was, why is Rockstar Dundee not in Australia? It seems like that should be the only place it is. And now
Right.
maybe we should talk to Scotland about naming a city Dundee.
Correct.
Anyway, go figure. I have no idea what new and old graphics means. I don't know how you mix new and old graphics. I don't. That's interesting. But again, it's laughable that they say there's a Red Dead Redemption remaster, depending on how the GTA remaster sell. Like, these things are going to sell like gangbusters. Just, it's not a question. Like,
Yeah.
these are going to be, so like, people are going to suck these up. And I am excited to replay 3 in Vice City. I did not enjoy San Andreas a whole lot. I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite.
Oh,
Vice City is
wow.
probably still my favorite. I really liked Vice City. The whole thing about it, I thought was a lot of fun. 4 was my least favorite, though, since I'm talking about things I don't like about Grand Theft Auto. I couldn't buy into the Russian immigrant thing. Like, it just I didn't buy into that, or whatever he was, Ukrainian,
Yeah, that was your
Eastern
least
European.
favorite?
Yeah, I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I liked the TV the most on that one because we had Boss Rutan, and then we had the other show.
Intergalactic Space Rangers or something like that?
Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But, this seems a lot, it sounds a lot like a director's cut remake that is multi-platform.
Mm. Mhm. I also don't know what new and old graphics mean. I don't know that. I guess that can be either very unique or not very appealing. I guess we're gonna find out here soon, but I don't know. They really gotta show me something for me to play these. I'm not sure if I wanna do that. Like, I have very fond memories of all of these games. You know what I'm saying? Like, GTA 3 was a PS2 game. That game,
Mhm.
when I first played it, blew my mind. Like, the opening sequence where you're, like, coming across the bridge and you're in the, police, like, meat wagon, paddy wagon, whatever. Meat wagon. And then Vice City, obviously, is a classic. It's a lot of
Mhm.
people's most favorite, or favorite GTA.
Mhm. Beautiful soundtrack.
Perfect soundtrack, probably the best one they've ever had, just by default. So anyway, my point is I don't know that I want these, and I don't know that we need them, but I understand why they're doing them, because they're going to make, like you said, a ton of money off of them. They're going to sell a bunch of copies. It really surprises me, to your point, that they're even being coy about it. Does that make sense? Like, they're quote unquote basing the Red Dead remaster on this. Like, come
Mhm.
on, guys! Like, give me a break. This thing is going to sell millions of copies. Like,
Right.
it's just not even. That's not an excuse
Mhm.
to not make the Red Dead remaster, in my opinion.
But to your point, I'm not sure I even want a Red Dead Redemption remaster. I don't know that I need this either of those things.
Yeah, I guess another reason why I say that too is because if you're just doing a mix of new and old graphics, meaning if you're not doing like a full blown remake, which I think that if you tried to do that, it would really take away from the spirit of all of those games. But if you're not
Mhm.
going to do that, if you're just going to like polish up the old games, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that we need that, because people still play the original versions of all these games today.
Was 3 the first time we departed from the, top-down view?
Correct. It
Yeah, okay,
was.
that's right. That's part of the reason 3 was so crazy. It was just like,
Hmm.
holy shit, like,
Yeah.
those are a different world.
Yeah. And I have memories of controller swapping with my dad, GTA 3, and we would climb on top of a rooftop and we would use cheat codes and spawn the rocket launcher, and we would just rocket launcher the neighborhood and get 5
Yeah.
stars
Yeah, that's the
wanted
best
a
thing. I
level.
just love that.
Anyway, pretty awesome, but I've got I've got to say this. I've got to. It's absolute bullshit that because of this and the GTA 5 port, that Red Dead, my beloved Red Dead Online, has been getting less support. And it really adds up. It's to your point. We had a theory that, obviously, with 150 million copies sold for GTA 5, and 38 for Red Dead 2, that they were focusing on that, and this confirms that, basically. So, I mean, I get it. There's more of a player base on GTA than Red Dead, but I think they're missing a little bit of an opportunity, unless they've just kind of put it on the back burner and they plan to go back to it. But there's a lot of potential in Red Dead, and I think they're missing a lot of My point is they could get Red Dead to more of a like cult status, more of a pop culture, like online game, like GTA is, if they just put a little bit into it. But I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if Red Dead came first, you might be saying that about GTA 5. It's kind of what I feel like. It just
That's true.
happened to be the first one.
That's true. Number 2, we were abandoned yet again this week, Travis, by Blue Box Game Studios, or perhaps Blue Balls Game Studios at this point, as the small indie team led by one Hassan Karaman ran into technical difficulties with the launch of the game's first teaser trailer, which was supposed to be added to the abandoned real-time experience app for PS5 on August 10th. In a statement on Twitter on Wednesday, the studio stated, quote, "We are still working to resolve the issue we are facing. We wanted to remind you that we are a small studio without the wide resources to quickly resolve an issue. We want to deliver a highly polished product and a good representation of the game that functions as intended. We won't be delaying the patch to a specific date, but release it as soon as we have resolved it. On behalf of the BBGS team and everyone involved with Abandoned, we thank you for the patience and apologize deeply for the inconvenience," end quote. Now, late Friday afternoon, however, Blue Box announced that the update was finally going live and the real-time experience app along with it. Unfortunately, all the update added was a 4-second teaser that the studio had already released earlier in the week on Twitter, as well as an update to the app's interface. What do you think?
Well, I do want to say that their apology seemed relatively genuine, and they use it as a good vehicle to explain, I guess, the issue that they saw and why they couldn't fix it so quickly. It seemed genuine and relatively transparent. So I do appreciate that, even though it's a small studio. That is a nice thing that you don't get a lot of from these bigger, more relevant studios. So my theory, well, first I want to say that they put out "Are you guys ready?" and then it was a 4-second teaser trailer, and people were like, "Yeah, show us the rest." And I was like, "That is the thing."
You did. You did
I
say
was
it.
like, that's what it is, guys. Like I'm 100% on board. This is all that they have. I genuinely think that, and the reason I think this is because they still are. They're on the home screen of the PlayStation. They have PlayStation behind them. They're getting post, all this other stuff. I think that this experience is the game. That it's
Mm.
that this whole thing of it not working and working, and there's too many weird things going on for it to just to be this small, uncomplex fuck up of a release. Like I think that this is the actual game. Is like we are participating in the game right now, talking about it, thinking about it, watching the video, waiting for the update. I think that is the actual game. Or maybe this is how conspiracies start, where they're just like, it can't just have been Oswald. Just some random dude could change the world. Maybe that's the same thing. It's just some random studio that happened to get all this backing.
Yeah. I honestly, at this point, don't know what to think, because everything we've talked about before in regards to this, none of it makes sense. Like all of these coincidences and connections, it all just seems too coincidental
Hmm.
for there not to be something more to this. However, this week, this was an absolute clusterfuck. I mean, it was a disaster. I mean, like you said, they tweeted out the thing that was going on the app. Of course, nobody knew it at the time, but they tweeted out that 4 seconds, and you came in, you were like, yeah, that's it. That has to be it. I bet that's all it is. And you were right. And it was a total waste of time for everybody. Then
It really was.
they claimed that they were having technical issues getting a 4-second trailer, not even trailer, a 4-second clip onto an app. Technical difficulties. They tweeted it on Twitter. Can't get it in an app. I mean, I understand that's apples and oranges, but like, what are we talking about? Like, that just sounds like a lie. I don't know. And either it's a lie, it's like casino. Either you're in on it or you're too fucking stupid. Like, I don't know, man. I really don't know what to think. And I want to again say that I don't really care one way or the other, because if it's Silent Hill, I'm not going to play it. So I'm not interested in this for that reason. But it's been a fun ride, but I'm starting to get annoyed with it just
Mhm.
for people, really, because this just seems like it's starting to now seem like we're seeing cracks in the armor. Like maybe this really is just an indie team, and a couple of people who don't know what the fuck they're doing, who got lucky and got a blog post. But then on the other hand, why are they getting all this attention on the PS5 interface and whatnot? You know what I'm saying? It's all what
Mhm.
you like you mentioned, but
Unless Sony leaned in, they saw the popularity on Twitter and like, it's basically turned into a meme.
yeah. And
I
then
mean, that's a theory.
yeah. But then the other thing is that starting this week with all of this mess, a timeline was established of Blue Box from 2015 when they were created, August of 2015 when they popped up, of all these things, which stick with me here for a moment. So all of these projects that they started but never finished, or they put them out in early access and they were a disaster, they took them down, or they said they were working on this and then it just disappeared and never happened. All of these things that they abandoned, if you will. I think there's two parts to that. The first thing is that they, again, have not completed anything or made anything of consequence. If you want to look at it that way, this definitely seems like a group of people or a person who is way over their head or is a habitual liar or scammer. Or if you want to look at it from the conspiracy angle, 2 months, 3 months after PT got canceled, the studio pops up and everything that they've tried to make since then, they've abandoned. And now they have a game called Abandoned. So you make of that what you will, but I honestly don't know at this point what it could be. Number 3, Travis, Battlefield 2042 is currently running a closed technical test for the upcoming game, but the console version of the test was canceled by Electronic Arts on Friday evening, citing a, quote, critical issue with the build that will be unable to address for this upcoming session, end quote. However, in a bit of good news, data miners have used the technical test on PC to uncover what the yet-to-be-revealed hazard zone mode may be. It appears the mode will be similar to Escape from Tarkov and Hunt Showdown. For those unfamiliar, Escape from Tarkov is a hardcore first-person shooter where players must fight to reach an extraction point somewhere on the map, fighting off real-life players and NPCs, and if you die, you lose everything. Hunt Showdown, meanwhile, is similar but more objective-based, with players competing to extract resources across the map. The data suggests that the mode will be playable on the game's launch day maps, and players will need to collect intel from data drives and crashed satellites, with various points of interest housing ammo and resources. And finally, the mode will include AI controlled bosses that reward bonus loot if defeated. What do you think?
Hmm. Well, it's a little sad we lost a technical test, but
It is.
they still had it on PC, so at least we know it works on some version, which makes me feel better about where we'll end up with it on the console. But if it didn't work on both versions, I would have been all on board the train of we're not getting this anytime soon. But I do feel better about this.
Mm-hmm.
The hazard zone is interesting. I wonder if this will be, to me, depending on how many groups of teams you get in it, how many players are in this, will make or break it. Like in Hunt Showdown, you had what, 2 or 3 teams
Mm,
tops.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
it's something like that, that could be fun. If it's 60 players, then we're basically playing Warzone in a way, and I don't really like that. So it could be cool. We'll see. I need a little bit more on the details there. And the other thing I wondered was these reward bonus loot stuff we can get. Is it only usable in Hazard Zone? Can we transfer it over? What is it? Is it do
Mm,
you have a starting weapon you can use, or is it just skins? They've kind of revamped what the class system is anyway. So I wonder, you know, what can you really give us that's loot based? Do you get a scope that you have to unlock at a certain level? Is that what we're talking about? So
yeah.
that is interesting to me. I just don't really know how that fits in with how I think about Battlefield.
Yeah, that's fair. It's definitely not very Battlefield. If I mean
Right.
to your point, I totally understand that. But well, first off, I am very disappointed that I did not get to partake in the technical test this weekend. Like I mentioned, I did get invited into it or whatever, and disappointed that I didn't get to take part. But in terms of the mind data and hazard zone, I actually think this sounds pretty awesome if done right. I don't want it to be Warzone, like you said. Like if it's Warzone, I'm not going to stick around for it, but it sounds differentiated enough to pique my interest because I did enjoy Hunt Showdown. Escape from Tarkov is a PC game, so I'm not familiar with it very much, but I'm really interested in this, and I hope they can execute it well and make it be Battlefield, but unique at the same time. Of what we know about it, that's not official at this point, it sounds pretty interesting to me. So hopefully, I can get you guys to check it out with me, and we can see what it's about. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, they'll reveal reveal it properly here very soon. We'll have a much better idea. Number 4, Sony announced the completion of its acquisition of anime streaming service Crunchyroll this week, Travis's favorite, for $1.175 billion. The deal had previously been under United States Justice Department review earlier this year, but all is obviously well now. With the acquisition, Sony now owns 2 of the major players in anime entertainment, Crunchyroll and Funimation. Elsewhere, website Eurogamer reported that they have heard Sony potentially plans to offer Crunchyroll as part of a more expensive premium PlayStation Plus subscription plan. It's interesting.
Japan was mad earlier that Sony was abandoning them, but I think owning these 2 anime services seems to be something that's very Asian.
It is.
By the way, I'm not interested. I'm not going to pay extra for Crunchyroll and Funimation.
No, not just for those now.
I hope that they keep it. I hope that there's levels to your, you know, what are you going to call it? What am I trying to say? Your PlayStation Plus subscription plan. I hope that there's levels. It's just online. It's that and now. It's that and this. That would be a lot more fun than just, hey, we've made it $200 now and you get all this. I'm like, I don't want all that. It's like when you pay for cable and they're like, here's 85 local channels. I don't want those, and I also don't really need TV Land.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's a good point. So you would prefer it to be more a la carte?
Yeah, I just think that's the way things are now. Maybe the
Yeah.
base subscription stays the same. If you want to add now, I mean, I guess that's what we're doing now, basically. I'm not really changing much, am I? But I like it better like that. I like the a la carte better. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't like paying for things I don't need. It's just silly.
I agree. I do hope that they bundle Plus and Now together in some way. I think that makes sense, and make it an option at least. Like you said, I'm not going to pay more for Crunchyroll or Funimation. Like if it just happens to come with something that I have, that's cool. Anime is very popular. I guess it's pretty big business because Sony pretty much now dominates it. We'll see if that pays off for them in the form of bringing in some new subscribers or what, but we'll see what their plans are. Number 5, PlayStation revealed July's top PlayStation Store downloads this week. On PlayStation 5, the most downloaded game was FIFA 21, followed by Spider-Man Miles Morales, NBA 2K21, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Tribes of Midgard, F1 2021, Jedi Fallen Order, Demon Souls, MLB The Show 21, It Takes Two, Returnal, Mortal Kombat 11, Metro Exodus, Dead by Daylight, Hitman 3, Chivalry 2, shout out, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Marvel's Avengers, and Final Fantasy XIV Online. On the PlayStation 4, the most downloaded game was Grand Theft Auto 5, of course, NBA 2K21, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Minecraft, Red Dead Redemption 2, The Crew 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, UFC 4, FIFA 21, Friday the 13th, MLB The Show 21, Dead by Daylight, The Forest, of course, Need for Speed Heat, Rust Console Edition, Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Striker, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Mortal Kombat 11, Ark Survival Evolved, and Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. On PlayStation VR, the most downloaded game was Beat Saber at number 1, followed by Job Simulator, Sniper Elite VR, The Elder Scrolls The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim VR, Super Hot, Swordsman, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, Paranormal Activity: The Lost Soul, Drunken Bar Fight, Batman Arkham VR, and in the free-to-play category, the most downloaded game was Splitgate, the Halo and Portal spinoff, or combo spinoff, you should say, followed by Fortnite, Call of Duty Warzone, Genshin Impact, Rocket League, Apex Legends, Rec Room, Brawlhalla, Destiny 2, and Rogue Company. Anything stand out to you out of all these lists?
I would venture a guess that Splitgate won't be there next month on free to play, and Tribes of Midgard won't be there either on the 5. I would say that will fall. Speaking of Tribes of Midgard, really like the country band Midland. really into them right now.
Oh, really? Haven't
I
heard of
know.
them.
Don't know why that happened. Anyway, oh, sorry, I had to fart. Nothing really is surprising on the 5 list. I think F1 maybe is a little bit higher than I expected. It just doesn't seem like a lot of people play that game, but there
Mm,
it is in the top 10, so go figure. Hitman 3 a little bit kinda surprised me because I just feel like I don't know who hasn't played that game already that would be interested in it.
yeah.
But that's cool, good for them. I'd like to see Chivalry 2 higher, but like I told you the other day, there's more people on that game than before because we were seeing the same people every night for a while, and
Yeah.
now I don't see anybody
Yeah.
that's the
Absolutely.
same. So, nothing surprising really there outside of those few things. The Crew 2 on the 4, that surprises me. Friday the 13th making a comeback is also interesting. I assume that's because we had one this month. I know PlayStation Access was playing the game, so maybe that bumped some sales for them,
Mm.
or some downloads for them, I should say. I would assume that since it's downloaded, that most of those were re-downloads. Since we're getting closer to October,
That's a
that would
really
be
good
my guess.
question. Yeah, it's a really good question.
But that's about it, really.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I was just wondering something similar as well. I don't know if this counts re-downloads. I would think not, but also what I don't know if this counts is like with Marvel's Avengers on PS5, for instance. They held a free weekend a couple weekends ago.
Mhm.
So does that count if people downloaded the trial version or whatever?
I would say it did if I was them. I would be like, "Absolutely, that's in
Yeah,
my numbers."
right, right. I would too. So I would assume so, but we don't really know. Let's see. On the 5 list, Tribes of Midgard is at 6. That's, I mean, really, really, this list just screams to me that like we are in a drought. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
there's been no big new releases since Ratchet and Clank. And I think people are just thirsty, man, to play games, and because we just see the same stuff recycled over and over, we need something big time. And then on the 4, there's the Forest sneaking in there as usual. That game just it's I feel like it's there every time. And then the one thing about free to play is Splitgate has unseated all the big boys in the free to play list, which you believe they will not be there at all next month, correct?
Yeah, maybe next week it will be, but definitely not next month. No, some people that I used to race with, were playing it. There's a lot of users. Clearly, it's number one on the free downloads, but
Yeah.
I haven't read anything that makes me think it has any kind of staying power. Everything I read is like, well, I just gave it a shot because it was free. I mean,
Mm,
I just don't see it being there at the top. I really don't. I don't think it's any more interesting than Brawlhalla or Destiny 2.
that's fair. Time will tell. Number 6, industry sales analyst, the MPD Group, also released their July data this week as well. And the top selling PS4 and PS5 software was as follows. Number 1 was Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. 2 was Spider Man Miles Morales, which was 8th on the overall list, regardless of platform. And it's the 5th best selling game of the year, incredibly. Third was MLB The Show 21, which was 7th on the overall list. And it's the second best selling game of the year. Fourth is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is 11th on the overall list for July. It was followed by Minecraft at 5, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, UFC 4, Resident Evil Village, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Mortal Kombat 11. Anything interest you here?
Now, Ratchet and Clank being 11th overall, that surprises me. That just seems really high for an exclusive like that kind of exclusive that,
Mm.
not God of War wouldn't surprise me, but that one
Yeah.
did for some reason.
Yeah, it's kind of not, I mean, I guess it is kind of niche in a way.
Right. Well, I mean, like, Resident Evil, you can say that's niche, it's a horror game, but it's nice to see those guys supporting it, keeping it up there. And Mortal Kombat is just, it's gonna last forever. Mortal Kombat is like a cockroach. You can't kill it. It's always gonna be there. I mean, what did they put something out the other day about how many units they've sold since like 92? It's like
Mm.
200 million or something crazy like that. I mean, it, it's just like a low key juggernaut.
Yeah, they've sold 75 million since 92, the entire franchise.
See, I was close.
Just about 100 million off, but
I mean, they just don't make those games like that anymore that are like, horizontal just boss fights basically over and over and over again. It's like it's like a sport game where like you can turn your brain off when you're playing FIFA. It's a fighting game where you can turn your brain off.
Right, right. Well, for me, what stands out is Spider-Man Miles Morales being the 5th best-selling game of this year. Okay, when it launched as a launch game for PS5, it came out in November, and here it is, the 5th best-selling game of this year still. It's a great game, so there's that. I think that speaks a little bit to the quality of it, but I'm wondering why this has the staying power that it does. My guess is that because more and more people are getting PS5s, and it's one of the first games that people play, which would make sense. So there's that. And then MLB The Show, despite being on Xbox Game Pass this time around, is still the second best selling game of the year so far. We're more than halfway through. That's pretty impressive as well. I wonder if we'll ever see how many copies they've actually sold of the show. Number 7, we also have a lot of news nuggets as well, Travis. Feel free to join me here. First nugget, Xbox head Phil Spencer told website Games Radar that Microsoft is quote-unquote totally open to having discussions about offering the full Xbox Game Pass experience on other platforms.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be? They love money.
That's very interesting. I think it's going to happen eventually. I don't know. I don't think soon, like not in the next year or anything like that, but I think eventually we will have a version of Game Pass on PlayStation. I just feel like it's inevitable, and it just feels like I don't know why PlayStation would say no to that, because then I don't know why anybody would buy anything other than PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They should get rid of the console then.
I don't know. I just don't know why. I mean, I'm surprised that Phil said that in a way, because that really would kill them in a, sort of from a hardware standpoint.
Well,
But
yeah, it diminishes the value of their hardware.
yeah, but
They don't make good exclusives.
yeah, but it sounds like that's a possibility. And I mean, if I was whoever, Jim Ryan, if I was Jim Ryan, I would have this conversation, because I mean, I just feel like that's a no-brainer. You, even if it's 20 or 25 bucks a month, you can say, yeah, it's 15 on your thing, but make it 20 on ours, or 50 or 25, and give us our 30% cut on every subscription. I mean, fuck it. And then you're going to sell more PS5s anyway, just inherently. So
At
I
that
don't know.
point, it's just brand loyalty. But
Yeah.
I feel like if they put the Xbox Game Pass on the PlayStation, you've essentially created a Coke and Pepsi. Like everybody likes Coke. They say Coke. Coke is ubiquitous. You can use it in any way. People say Coke and they get a Pepsi. Like I feel like you would be turning into that with video games. Like if you want a console, PlayStation is your console. Some people get Xbox, but they're old and poor.
They're nice people. Okay. So we'll see. That's interesting. Number 2, or second nugget, I should say. Call of Duty Vanguard is rumored to be revealed next week, Travis, potentially on August the 19th, according to new rumors. The first official teaser for the game, called The Western Front, was also released this week through YouTuber Mr. Dalek JF. It might be JD, actually. I may have mistyped that, but whatever.
Well, I read Mr. Dale JFK, and I was like, this guy loves people who died prematurely.
Died at their peaks, huh?
Well, if you died in a vehicle, I'm into it.
Maybe that might be. What do you think about Call of Duty Vanguard? Interest you at all? We're going to World War II again.
I like everything in World War II or World War I. I'm always interested. I just the thing I don't like about it is I don't like the name Vanguard. I don't know as when you study World War II, that never comes up, so I don't really know why we're doing that. And the Western Front, quote unquote, is more tied to the First World War, especially because of the book called All Is Quiet on the Western Front. Obviously, there was a Western Front in the Second World War where Hitler completely lost the war and his empire.
And his head.
And his head, yes. It's just, I don't know. What's going to happen is I'm going to watch the trailer called the Western Front, and then I'm going to see things not on the Western Front, and it's going to make me hate them. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I still haven't watched fucking Gravity because they got like Gravity wrong in general in the fucking trailer, and I couldn't handle it.
I'm not into Call of Duty this time around. I don't want World War II. I'm just not. It's not for me this time, and that's fine. I mean, I feel like this won't happen. Like Battlefield's not going to win in terms of number of sales, because Call of Duty is still going to sell 20 million copies, but this is Battlefield's year. Like this is theirs to lose in terms of just perception, in terms of mind share. You know what I'm saying?
Awards,
Yeah, yeah,
culture.
yeah. This is the time. This is the year. Don't blow it. Next nugget, developer Dotemu, the team behind Streets of Rage 4, will release Windjammers 2 later this year on PS4 and PS5. A free open beta is currently available until August 22nd on PS4 and PS5. Website Push Square reported that Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice received a free next-gen upgrade this week, but it will not be coming to PlayStation 5, as the game's developer Ninja Theory is now owned by Microsoft. A new F1 2021 patch has disabled 3D audio on PlayStation 5 after having earlier issues with ray tracing on the console just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, well, EA made it, so.
True, they're struggling with that for some reason.
Right. So again, every F1 game every year, just wait until we're on patch 4, and they finally figure it out. So anyway, I'm waiting to get that game until it's on sale, and then I want to get a new steering wheel for my rig that matches an F1 car. That way I can swap my wheels out whenever I'm in different cars. So that'll have to wait a while.
Oh wow, that's fancy. Next nugget, No Man's Sky developer Hello Games teased the game's next update called Frontiers in a 5th-year anniversary celebration video this week. We will likely get a full announcement at Gamescom at the end of the month.
I would like to see a No Man's Sky roadmap, because I just wonder how long they're going to keep putting stuff into this. I mean, we're in year 5. Is this a decade-long game? I mean, at what point do you stop?
I don't think they're going to. I think they've hit their stride, and from what I can tell, their sales strategy is either you buy it at full price for $59.99, or occasionally it's on sale for $29.99. That's about as cheap as it gets now. So I feel like they think that if they just keep putting out quality content, that people are going to buy it at either 30 or 60 bucks. You just take your pick. If you want to be patient, you can get it for 30 at some point, probably usually about every other month. So it's up to you. I own it. I keep it on the PS5, and everything that I see about it makes me want to go back to it, because I played it before on the 4, and I would have to totally start over now, but maybe one day. Also, Games Radar is hosting another Future Games show on August 26th, featuring more than 40 games from publishers including Frontier Developments, Team 17, Koch Media, and Tripwire Interactive. A new South Park game is in the works, according to Bloomberg, who reported that South Park creators Trey Park and Matt Stone are working on a 3D video game at South Park Digital Studios. PS5 exclusive food manipulation game Noor, Play With Your Food, has been delayed to early 2022 to give the developer time to fully implement DualSense features. Fall Guys meets Micro Machines online multiplayer racing game Vroom was announced for PS5 and will release late next year. I showed you a trailer for this week.
Yeah, I told you my one concern was it looked like you could get jammed up a couple of times on just in random places, which happens in Fall Guys. I mean, it's not anything any different. But this is, as you said at the end of the trailer, this is in the category of I'm going to forget about it. Remind me in 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. But I thought it looked cool. I think it looks cool. I think it has potential.
Fun.
Yeah, it's got potential. Next nugget, Life is Strange Remastered and Life is Strange Before the Storm Remastered have been delayed to early 2022, although Life is Strange True Colors remains on track for its September 10th release. Diablo 2 Resurrected will get 2 beta periods on PS4 and PS5. The first has already taken place for those who pre-ordered, and the second is set to open to everyone starting on August 20th.
My wife had a beta period.
I bet. You got to watch out for those. Typhoon Studios, the studio behind Journey to the Savage Planet, who was closed as part of Google Stadia closing down its development studios. That's a lot of studio in one sentence. Has reformed as Raccoon Logic with financial backing from communist Tencent.
Well, the first name was better, and then it went really downhill after that.
Yeah, it's no thanks. I'll pass. Also, Chivalry 2 received its first large free update this week called House Gallancourt. The update added new maps, new modes, new cosmetic items, and the new arrow cam, among various other new additions.
Love the arrow cam.
It's fucking awesome.
Also can use on anything you throw, which makes it it's even better. It's just fun.
I forgot about that. You told me that. Yes.
It makes it a lot easier to see like how close you are. If you're like if you
Mm.
follow a javelin or something like that,
Mhm.
you kind of get a better feel of how to aim and whatnot.
I agree. Yeah, it's a really solid update that they've put out. Also, the stadium from cult classic sports film Field of Dreams has been added to MLB The Show 21.
So about this Field of Dreams thing,
Uh-huh.
I had a very surprising, strong opinion about it, which I didn't see coming. I thought you just something happens sometimes and it just really, really upsets you. And
Yeah, yeah.
this this is it's just like we've had discussions before about writers in general, about the media in general. This is the perfect example of something that gives them a hard on. Like, oh my god, it's like the fucking movie I watched when I was a kid that made me have emotions I didn't understand about my father, exact dad issues. By the way, I'm a writer because I wasn't good enough to play the sport. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world, but I can't swing a bat or throw a baseball. Here we are recreating this movie. I love. Oh, look, Kevin Costner's here, and it's just like it's everything I hate about. They've romanticized this thing in their head, and then now they're recreating it. I guess that's the whole point of the media and marketing is to exploit your romanticized feelings about athletics or toothpaste in general, but, like, to me, it was just, like it was so not genuine to me.
Mm.
It just felt like such a scam, like a money grab, and then for the game to end on a walk-off after it was tied on a home run, it just felt like it's so fucking scripted, like, it didn't
Yeah.
feel did the game actually count? Like, I don't know, it just seemed like a bunch of bullshit to me. I mean, the only thing it would've been worse if they would've had the fucking Red Sox and the Yankees there, then it would've been a real fucking problem because they only act like those are the only teams in baseball are the Giants, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Red Sox, according to the fucking media anyway. So it's ridiculous. The Cubs show up occasionally for them to make fun of, that's about it.
It seemed disingenuous. It did not seem authentic. Like how do they hit a walk off to end the game? You know what I'm saying? They have Kevin Costner. They just like you said, it seemed scripted. So I don't know. I'm not buying it.
I'm glad it's on the game though, good for the game.
Also, developer Dual Effect confirmed that its survival horror title Tormented Souls will launch on August 27th, both digitally and physically. Physical copies will ship at a later date alongside a PS4 version of the game, which had previously been canceled. And there's a demo available currently, if you'd like. Publisher Bandai Namco announced that upcoming action RPG Tales of Arise will get a free demo on the PlayStation Store on August the 18th, with the game itself launching on September the 10th.
There's a VR version of this called Tales of Arse.
And it's made by Rockstar Dundee. Chinese developed action RPG Faith of Danchant, I don't know, was announced this week and is currently in the works for PC and quote unquote consoles. A gameplay trailer was shared, but no release date was given. The presence of an English voice dub also suggests that it will be released in the West. This was the game I was telling you about where the guy ran up bamboo trees and stood on the top
Oh,
of them.
cool. That's awesome, guys. What I thought when you told me that was, it's a Chinese developer. They can't make anything that could make them possibly make their people possibly have like a free thought. So they can't have a war game. They can't have a sports game. The guy climbing up a tree is safe for a communist government to make. Like that's safe.
Yeah, it won't get censored, you mean?
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
like that's all they could do. We got a guy climbs up a bamboo tree. That's all I got. And they're like, all right, cool.
Developer Turtle Rock announced this week that Back for Blood has gone gold ahead of its October release, and oddly enough, before the open beta even began.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, that does not make sense at all. That means the beta is for nothing, I guess, if the game's gone gold. I mean, they can still work on it and update it, obviously, but like it just, it doesn't, it's just not, doesn't go together, is what I'm saying.
Right.
It
Yeah, the
typically does not
beta
happen.
the beta is basically like free marketing in a sense.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah. Also, the explosive, popular free to play first person shooter Splitgate will receive a native PS5 version once the game's servers have been stabilized. They've said this week.
Cool. Can't wait to be wrong about that one.
I think you're going to be. PlayStation has renewed its long-term partnership with the UEFA Champions League. Europe's flagship club football competition has been sponsored by PlayStation for over 23 years, and that relationship will now continue through 2024.
Yeah. Do you know who won the last Champions League. I don't know if you saw it.
Was it a team called Chelsea Bitch
Yeah.
Asses? The Chelsea
Yeah.
Bitch Asses?
Whatever, man. Listen, London's blue, and all you guys suck dick. Go Chelsea. Up to Chelsea.
Oh, Christ.
Whatever team LeBron owns can suck my cock. I don't know who it is.
I think it might be Liverpool. Or I don't know.
Perfect.
Yeah. Also, website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that Xbox head Phil Spencer...
That's the greatest one you've ever wrote. What's the rest of it?
I don't know. It must have been the thing that I moved to the top and I forgot to delete this.
For everybody listening, he just stopped typing after Phil Spencer.
There's nothing there, guys.
Just ends.
There's nothing there. Oh wow! You know how when we do the show, it's a cold read of the notes for you. Well, it's a cold editing of the show notes for me. I just type them and go for it.
In your defense, you were really busy this week doing absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah. Trying to get some of Joe's money to build some parks and shit.
Yeah, God.
Next nugget. The rumored Marvel XCOM style game will reportedly not feature any existing Marvel superheroes, Travis, and will instead use player-created superheroes. Elsewhere, GamesBeat's Jeff Grubb reported that this is likely the unannounced quote-unquote new franchise that publisher 2K Games teased recently, and it is being developed by Firaxis Games.
Right, so if you're not using any existing superheroes, they're just throwing Marvel on it for name recognition. Although making your own superhero is kind of interesting, like because everybody's always said, what superpower would you have? Well, now you get to actually do that in a game. Like you get to actually, because have you ever been able to make somebody with their own powers other than like Skyrim, where you can be like a sneaky guy or a witcher or whatever?
The only thing close to this is DC Universe Online, which is like an MMO. Well, not like it is a MMO game based in the DC universe. This is like they took that game and then made it an XCOM game, is what it sounds like, which sounds kind of awful. Like I would play it if it was actual Marvel superheroes in a tactical, action game, but I'm not gonna play this
tactical XCOM style game.
Correct. Yeah. Also, tactical first-person shooter Insurgency Sandstorm will launch on PS4 on September the 29th, according to a pre-order link shared by publisher Maximum Games on Twitter. So they shared a pre-order link, but they didn't say that when the game was launching. They have not said that. They just shared a pre-order link. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. On the opposite end of the marketing spectrum, I don't know the fuck they were doing.
Didn't you just say it was going to release on September 29th?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they tweeted it. And they didn't say, hey, the game comes out September 29th. Yeah. It just said, hey, pre-order the game here. And everybody's like, okay, well, when the fuck is the thing coming out? And then you click the pre-order link and go to wherever, GameStop, and it says September 29th. Like, they had never said when it was releasing to that point. Makes no sense.
Yeah, people are fucking stupid.
Also, new rumors suggest that Overwatch 2 development is taking much longer than expected, and the game does not seem likely to release in 2022. Dying Light 2 will feature several graphical modes at launch, including a quality mode that will emphasize ray tracing and environmental lighting, and also a performance mode which will be available that features 60 frames per second.
The phrase features sounds like you're not going to get it all the time.
It might just be targeting, but...
Yeah, just say... If it has 60 frames per second, just say that. Just say, right, it's available and that the performance mode is 60 FPS. Just say that. Like, wording things like that makes people like me who love to use specific words that don't really mean what they mean in sentences to mess with people. What I read is it will occasionally be 60 frames.
They just need to make... I don't understand why they're not making... a next-gen version of this game. Like, why is there no PS5 version? I don't get that. Like, they've had all this time. Just make it. I don't know. I'm irritated by that. Next nugget, former Saban Brands Director of Global Consumer Products, Jason Bischoff. Bischoff.
Get the car Bischoff.
Revealed on Twitter over the weekend that a AAA Power Rangers Batman Arkham-style game codenamed Project Nomad was canceled in 2016. The game was pitched as an open-world co-op adventure in the vein of the upcoming Gotham Knights game. He shared
This is Go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say he shared a bunch of concept art as well, and it actually looked really cool and sounded
Mhm.
pretty cool. It sounded awesome.
The reveal of this reminds me of a few weeks ago when this guy was randomly like, "My NDA's up, we were gonna make a game in, like, 2000." Remember that game?
Yeah, I
He just
do.
randomly talked about it.
Yeah, I do remember that. Like you said, these guys' NDAs must be expiring, and they're like, "All right, it's time." They like set a fucking alarm in their calendar. Also, alternate history Soviet first-person shooter Atomic Heart is in the polishing and final assembly stage, according to developer Munfish. Although they are hesitant to share a release date, upcoming Japanese action RPG Tales of Arise will be getting a Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
I did it again.
Uh,
Oh, all right.
uh-huh. This is fun.
Website PlayStation Universe reported that PlayStation Blog Germany seems to have revealed in a post that Grand Theft Auto 5's upcoming next-gen upgrade will have the game running 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. Well, I would fucking hope so. Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy is the next Marvel character joining Fortnite, with Star-Lord coming back as well in the near
Oh,
future.
cool. Or you get Sodom also. Sodom and Gomorrah if you didn't guys didn't catch that. Okay.
Dying Light developer Techland may be working on a next-gen upgrade for the original 2015 game, but
Jesus.
not a fucking next-gen version of the new game, guys. According to recent comments from the game's lead level designer,
None of
they
this
are
makes any
fucking up.
sense.
No,
What are we doing?
they are fucking up.
They're gonna kill their company.
I don't understand. Toy Soldiers HD has been delayed to September the 9th. Crystal Dynamics senior game designer Scott Walters confirmed that Spider-Man will be coming to Marvel's Avengers by the end of the year. Spider-Man will be a PlayStation exclusive playable character upon release. Remedy Entertainment's AAA project with Epic Games has moved into full production, and the studio also revealed that Control has reached 10 million players worldwide. Pretty impressive.
Damn.
Pretty impressive. Also, Dead by Daylight developer Behavior Interactive teased the game's next character will be Pinhead from Hellraiser. Bohemia Interactive announced that free-to-play shooter Vigor will be getting a native PS5 version, including higher resolution, 60 frames per second, and other graphical improvements. The upgrade will come soon as part of Season 9. What do you think? This is going to get me back in to check it out, because I don't know if you remember me telling you on the show here several months back now that I was in the mood for it one time, re-downloaded it, and immediately like got sick trying to play it because it's 30 frames. So
I remember the cover art for Vigor, but did I play that with you?
you did play it with me,
I
because
did
you can
play it with you.
yeah, you can play squads or duos or whatever. It's
What did
pretty
we
cool.
do on it?
It's like a survival battle royale game. So you like parachute in, whatever. No, you load in and you just
We
have a
were in a
spawn point.
cabin.
Yeah, and there's
There's like a
cabins and
whiteboard.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
cabins and shit, and you're just trying to find guns like a battle royale and
Oh, that
everything,
was fun.
and resources, and then planes drop resources, and you can unlock safes and everything, and then you can kill people if you want, or you can just find all the shit and extract with the resources. You know what I'm talking
Mhm.
about? Remember that?
Yeah, it sounds like with Vigor that I'm about 13% interested and you're about 90% interested.
Yeah, you could say that. That's probably fair. Also, a new development studio has been co-founded by Corey Davis, the great Tennessee Titans former wide receiver, the director of Spec Ops: The Line, actually, and Robin Fink, the guitarist for rock band Nine Inch Nails.
Mhm.
The new studio, this is so odd. The new studio is called Eyes Out, and it's based in Los Angeles.
I hope they make a game that fucks me like an animal.
with their 9-inch nail.
Yeah.
Brian Mazik, or Brian Mazike, as I'm going to call him, a writer for Forbes, claimed on a recent YouTube stream that the upcoming WWE 2K22 will benefit from a completely rebuilt gameplay engine.
I fucking hope so. You mean they don't want you to like float into the arena?
I think they had to do that, Brian. A new rumor suggests that Dark Souls developer From Software is working on a new Souls-like game exclusively for the PlayStation 5, but no, it is not the much requested Bloodborne 2. The source of the rumor recently accurately predicted the Ghost of Tsushima Icky Island DLC. Streamer and former video game level designer for Sledgehammer Games, Dr. Disrespect, announced that he is starting his own game development studio in collaboration with Boom TV.
I didn't know he did that. I didn't know he was a level designer.
I did not know that either. Thought he was just some jabroni.
I think he's annoying, but cool. He's talented.
Yeah. A new rumor claims that PlayStation will hold its next State of Play stream on August the 19th, where Horizon Forbidden West will be confirmed as delayed and a surprise reveal will take place. So we're getting all these rumors, Travis, like Call of Duty's getting revealed on the 19th, from software game, all this stuff. So I'm starting to wonder, Sony's kind of quiet. I wonder if, there's something to the rumor that something's coming soon.
That's in like 5 days. I mean,
yeah,
you
I hope
think
so.
we'd know something.
Yeah, they usually do things on Thursday, and I feel like they normally announce them on Monday or Tuesday. So I'd say if we go through Monday and Tuesday and we hear nothing, then it's not going to happen. Website Gematsu reported that 8-bit 2D platform adventure game Batboy was announced for PS4 and PS5 and will release sometime in 2022. Minimalist strategy game Islanders Console Edition will come to PS4 and PS5 on August 26th. The game looks kind of cool. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon will launch on PS4 sometime this winter. Publisher Yacht Club Games announced. Publisher Game Mill Entertainment announced arena first-person shooter Nerf Legends for PS4 and PS5. It will launch sometime in October. Villainy Simulator Evil Genius 2 World Domination will come to PS4 and PS5 in the fourth quarter of this year.
That's interesting to me.
It is. I didn't watch the trailer for it, but it sounds interesting. Yeah,
it's
different.
odd. It's odd.
Yeah, it's different. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous will release on PS4 on March 1st of next year after being delayed from its previous fall 2021 release date. Slice of Life interactive story game Lake will come to PlayStation at some point in the future.
Boy, have I got a storyline for a interactive Lake game.
Oh, man, we sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. It'd be a short game, though.
It would. And finally, Travis, Gematsu reported that Dark Fantasy Tactical RPG Disciples Liberation will launch on PS4 and PS5 on October the 21st. And that is all for the news this week. I'll kick it over to Travis now for this week's new games.
On August 9th, we had I Am Dead. I Am Dead. I Am Dead.
Aren't we all?
On the 10th, we had Action Arcade Wrestling, Arashi, Castles of Sin, Black Book, Button City, Godfall, Super Hiking League DX. Oh my god, that sounds terrible. Synth Riders, which I assume is about synth music.
Yes, I think you're right.
On the 11th, we have Axiom Verge 2, Space Intervention. On the 12th, Assassin's Creed: The Siege of Paris, which was that DLC?
Mm-hmm, it is.
Blair Witch VR, Car Mechanic Simulator 2021, where you can see what it's like to not go to college. Come On Kitty on the PS4, and that's spelled COME.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Come On Kitty. There's some guys coming on Kitty right now.
Oh, God, yeah. Everybody loves to come on a kitty. You don't want to come in the kitty. You can get more kitties.
Oh, that game would be called Cream by Kitty. Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's a sequel. That's a sequel.
Okay. Doctor Who, The Lonely Assassins. Faraday Protocol, which I wonder if that's named after Faraday, the scientist. Also, we have Foreclosed. Gelly Break Deluxe. Is it Gelly?
I don't know. I'm going to go with Jelly.
Jelly would be a J.
It would be.
Is it GIF or GIF, guys? Then we have Kai Resonance. Kai. It's KIAI. I don't know how to pronounce that. There's too many vowels in a row. And we also have Tetragon. And on the 13th, we have Hades.
Yep. All right. That's all for the new game releases this week. Travis, let's start to put a bow on this bitch as we do now by discussing what we have been playing in the past week and anything that we're looking forward to. What's on your mind?
I found another guy on PFA, sent you a picture, and his potential was high like normal, but his overall was 63 to 81, and I signed him and he's at 67. I've never ever seen a guy that you've signed to the youth squad that's at the top level of that range of how good they could be overall. Never seen that.
Yeah.
Never seen it on Reddit. I've never seen it on Twitter. I'd like to see that once just to see what it looks like. 'Cause I remember I was playing 2K, it's probably 2K16 maybe. It was a long time ago, and the game glitched. Like, you know how it's like games will do weird stuff, like,
Yeah.
especially these cyclical sports games. Like, when you get to the end of the run, like, weird shit will just start happening, and it doesn't make any sense. I was playing a franchise, and there was just this guy. He was an A plus on the scouting. Never had seen one the entire time I had the game. He was an A plus. So I traded like the whole fucking team. Got the number one pick. Drafted him. He was like an 87 as a
Mm.
rookie. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Going into the next year, same thing. Another guy who's an A plus. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I've already traded like 10 years of draft picks, right? So thought that was it. It was just weird, right? So I feel like maybe we're gonna get into that with FIFA here. Played the arcade again the other night. Really love that gun I had. I forgot what it's called now. What is it called? I just remember it was like a little shotgun thing. It's green. It's
Mm.
anyway. It's like one shot and it fucks. Like that's what it does.
It
Like
does.
it's wild. I love that gun. I like it more than some of the extreme level guns you can get. Watching the Dayblades you shoot out kill people was pretty hilarious. We were like in a cave one time underground something and you shot at these things and it just I swear it hit the wall 15 times before it hit him and killed him.
Yes.
And I was like, I was about to die, so I was letting it ride, and I was hitting nothing because I was watching the blade instead of aiming, but I was just blankly shooting into
Yeah.
space. That was a good time. Then we played the Chivalry 2 update. So, like I said
Mhm.
before, the arrow the arrow tracing or following is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Really helps you kind of aim because like it was just like you were just when you were throwing or shooting stuff. If you didn't have a natural feel for it, it was really kind of hard to see where you were missing at. It just felt like it wasn't consistent with how you would like there was no bullet drop like on Battlefield. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if you aim it and shot it, yeah, there's an arc to it, but for like the first, 100 meters of travel, it's just going to stay on that line. So it's nice to know that now,
Yeah. You had no frame of reference before.
right? So we played the other night, and this is the day after the update, and they were having server issues. So we get into a game.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You managed to pop the 50 kill trophy,
Yep.
which was
Thank God.
and
Lucky.
then I didn't. I was at like 44 and I was fucking pissed. Like I'm supposed to be excited for you, but I'm not. I'm like, I'm mad because I'm never gonna get this fucking trophy, right? And we'd finally gotten into it where like it was full of bots and like 3 players. So it was like if they kept hitting the task and we played the whole level all the way through, like you couldn't it was impossible to not get 50 because you could just murder the bots.
Right.
So we go into another game and it's like, it's the last game of the night and it kicks you.
Oh yeah. That's right.
So I was like, great, it's gonna kick me out, which it didn't. Luckily, I got 51 kills and then the game ended. Like I killed a guy, it went to 51, it said game over, trophy popped. I was like, oh my god, thank you. I
Yeah.
barely got it.
I forgot about that.
That was the game where the guy we played against a guy and he was just all Chinese letters.
Oh yeah.
And
Wow.
he was just murdering everybody. I swear he had like 84 kills. Like he was like
Yeah.
100 takedowns, 84. Dude was just massacring people. He had the messer. That's what he kept killing me with.
Mm. He probably had 2 ping too. His ping was probably 2.
Well, probably too. Anyway, it was fun. Finally got that trophy. The new maps are pretty sweet. I enjoy those.
Yeah.
I like the arena one we got. That's like the betrayal of the courtyard.
Mhm.
That one was a lot of fun. Killed a guy with bread.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
I only got to do 13 more of those.
It's impossible.
But yeah, I know. So I will say it's been a little bit harder the last couple of nights. It seems like all the linked weapons, like anything that's long, any of the pole hammers or the big long swords, the axes, the sledgehammer, beautiful, work like they always have. But like the short swords, things of that nature, the axe, like I can't get it, like the smaller axe, I can't get in. Like I'll be on top of the guy and I'll like jab him to stab him, and it's almost like it goes through him and nothing happens. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a part of the update or what, but I hate it.
Yeah, I agree. They've changed the reach or whatever of the weapons, and it's frustrating. I will say that.
Yeah, but I got to do my normal fun stuff with that game. It's just fun to play and get rocketed off of a. I got catapulted over a wall. That was fun.
Me too. Yeah, for the first time.
I used my pre-order sword a little bit. It's just a fun sword to use. It's all curvy and ornate, and my big long sword that I got for the pre-order, and I played with that one for a life. I think I got like 6 or 7 kills with it. I was
Mhm.
just walking around murdering people, and it does this really cool animation, like when you jab with it, like you grab the hilt with 2
Yeah.
hands and that's pretty sweet. The animation's pretty cool. Oh, and they added the thing where you can twirl the sword in your hand, which I kept doing, and then people would just kill me. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
love doing it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'd
So
love
I
to
was
see that in a clip, like people, somebody looking at me and me do that, and then I just run up and cut their head off. That'd be
like
cool.
I was doing I was doing it with every weapon when I would spawn on shuffle because I wanted to see what it looked like with a new weapon. So like I would spawn with a gigantic spear and I'd be spinning it around. I just thought it was just fun to play. So anyway,
Well, I also played Chivalry 2 this week, like you said, and I don't have much to add other than what you said. Really enjoying the update. The new maps are cool. I did take a clip that I shared on our Twitter of 5 guys getting catapulted at one time, which was hilarious.
hmm
And Chivalry 2 is my game of the year still so far. I Nothing's changed that for me yet. And then I also played more Back for Blood beta last weekend. I don't remember if I talked about it or not, but I did play more after we recorded.
hmm
I played again one night with Jacob, and we actually had it was me and him and his brother and a random. So we had 4 humans, which makes it infinitely better. Uh, and I had fun with it, but I gotta say, the game doesn't do anything remarkable or different, in my opinion, and would not pay full price for the game. That's just my opinion. It's fine, but I don't think it's worth full price. And then we did play arcade again, like you said, one night for about an hour. And then I also, if you been a busy boy this week, I got into the FIFA 22 beta. I forgot I'd even signed up for it. They sent me a code. I don't even know if I can talk about it because it wouldn't let me record anything, but I've been in the beta. How about that? I'll talk about it when it's over, I guess. And then the last 3 things, yes, 3 things that I've been playing here. I knew that Hades was about to come out and I had it pre ordered. So I went down a wormhole of playing Super Giant's other games, some of their other games. So I haven't played their first game yet, Bastion, have that on Vita, but I re-downloaded Transistor, which I had played on the PS4 a long time ago, and started over with that, and finished it, and it is an incredible game. Fantastic game. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. Very
game
good
of the
game.
year in 2017.
Game of the year and from 16, 17, whenever it came out. It's a fantastic game. Great music, great narrator and voice acting, great combat. Fantastic all the way around. The only thing that I would take off half a point for is because at times the story beats kind of lost me, but that may just be my own problem, you know?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then I played their next game after I beat it called Pyre, which is like a mix of what I would say it's a mix of is the Banner Saga and Rocket League, if that makes any sense whatsoever to you guys. But I did not enjoy it as much as Transistor. As a matter of fact, I did not finish it because I got to what I thought was the end of it and then it wasn't over. And I'd already put like 10 hours in it. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, I've done enough. And the other issue that I have with that game is it's a lot of reading. There's very little voice acting in the game. So there's a lot of conversation and talking, but you have to read all of it. And I'm not in the mood for that. So I quit playing it and moved on to their newest game, which is Hades. I just played it for the first time before we started recording tonight. So I'm very early into it, but my early comments are that the art style is really cool.
hmm
The music is really cool. It has full voice acting, which is very well done so far. The combat is really good so far, really satisfying. And I can tell it's a challenging game, but it's not a punishing roguelike game, if that makes sense. So it always feels like you're progressing because you can buy shit in between and whatever else. So it seems cool so far, but we'll see. And then in terms of anything I'm looking forward to or going to play, I'm still going to stick with Chivalry 2, of course, and then probably Hades this week is what I'm gonna do this week. So that's it. It's all we got. Travis, let's get out of here. If you guys enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. We'll be right there waiting for you in your podcast service every Monday. Also, Maybe subscribe on YouTube if you're watching there. The next thing that we need you to do, which is also very important, is to leave us a review or a rating on your podcast service. Very much helps. And then finally, if you would share us with a friend or a loved one who you think may enjoy a PlayStation podcast like this one here, that would also be much appreciated. We'll get out of here and get out of your ears. We'll talk at you guys next week. Take care. Be safe. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.